My name is Razieh Araghi, and I'm from Iran. And I am a graduate student at Comparative Literature Department, second year PhD student. Um, and yeah, I'm glad to be here. So what I do is I work mostly with translation studies, modernity, and feminist or women's studies in the Middle East. I work on Iranian, Turkish, and Arabic contexts. And I work mostly for the period work. I work with 19th century and 20th century. My work mostly focuses on history of translation and migrating text among these cultures, particularly the texts that are about women's rights and activism on women's rights. So my main reason to choose University of Michigan is that I really like the comparative literature department, and I liked. I mean, before I come here to study at this university, I talked to different students, previous students at Complet, and they shared their experiences with me, and they told me how they liked working with different professors. I like Complet because I have I like several professors that I'm working with. Apart from the department itself, the university has great sources for graduate students who want to work on diverse kind of topics. Like Racom provides you with different opportunities to explore what you want to do in different fields, like the workshops they have, the RIW sessions they have, and the kind of like collaborative projects that they allow the students to are very interesting. And they don't limit you, basically Racom and also our department, comparative literature, they don't limit you only to academic projects and thinking about your work in only academic setting. University of Michigan and also like our department always try to give us opportunities to imagine our work in non-academic context. Like there are different internships that we can apply for to see how our work is working in real life setting. And that's, to be honest, is very fascinating for me as a student. So I can definitely say that it affected my studies drastically because I'm a second year student, and second year is one of the most challenging years at Complet because it's the year that we start teaching, and at the same time we get ready for our prelims exam. So it was a kind of challenging year for me because teaching for the first time with Zoom and not seeing my students, it was kind of challenging, to be honest. And then at the same time, it was hard really to read and study during the pandemic, but I had to prepare my rationale and my long list of readings for my prelims. So it was definitely a lot of pressure to just go through, but I'm happy that it's done. So where I was located, I wasn't and I'm not in Ann Arbor, and I was back home in Texas, Austin. That one of the, like I can say, difficulties was that I really missed my friends back in Ann Arbor, and I really missed being on campus. Advantages, I think I talked about for the previous question. And what I can think of challenges is most of the time, like taking classes, especially for comparative literature that are based on theory and theoretical readings. Most of the theories that we read are heavily based on American context or European context, and sometimes in those kind of classes it doesn't matter if it's from comparative literature department or feminist studies department or any like sociology or any other departments. Sometimes you feel that there is a gap because most of the time that these classes are like Eurocentric, you feel like that you cannot find your niche in these classes, and you cannot kind of think with the theories that they are explaining and they're teaching to you about your own context, because most of the time, or sometimes I can say, these theories may not apply or may not work in the context that I am working with. That's one of the challenges I think I had. Also, the second thing that I can think about is sometimes it rarely happens, but you need to explain like the context that you're working with. You need to explain like most of these cultures that you are working with to some people who don't really know about this context. That can be like both challenging for you and interesting for you, because you're presenting your project. That's the interesting part, and you're just talking about something that is the most interesting work that you're doing. But sometimes it can be frustrating if you just have to do it over and over. um, yeah, I can think of those two challenges, to be honest. Um, a big win for me, to be honest, was my research, because I had different ideas in my mind and I didn't know how to really shape or form the questions that I had, my research questions for my prelims. But one thing that I really like about Michigan and the professors uh, they like this institute has, is that they always work like a team with you. You don't have to be you don't need to rely on only one person, and you always can when working with a team of people, you can just rely on different kinds of expertise. I worked with my committee members and I tried to really form the questions that I have for my research, and I saw a big change from the first draft that I wrote for my rationale and how it came together at the end. So that was, I think, one big win for me, but it wasn't unexpected because I really worked on it and it was very difficult. Yeah, that was the obstacle I can say that I overcame this year, and now I'm excited to read for my prelims with the readings I have. Yeah, those were the questions that I needed to answer. I hope I answered all of your questions. And thank you very much again. It was a pleasure for me to talk to you. Thank you.